first step in using the GUI for the Typhoon H is to plug in the USB cable. So we'll turn it upside down, and there's the USB port right here. We'll plug it in. Turn the H back over. And turn it on. I've downloaded the GUI from Yuneec.com. It's under the support for the Typhoon H, and I've installed it. The icon is here on the desktop, and before we run it, we'll right click and select Properties. We'll go to Compatibility. We want to select Run this program in compatibility mode, and I'm going to change it to Windows 7. Also, there's a box here that says Run this program as administrator. Check that box. We'll apply. Say OK. So now we're ready to open the program. Say yes to the warning. And it may take a minute or two for the program to open up. The next thing we're going to do is plug in the Typhoon H into the USB on the computer. Should hear a friendly beep from the computer to tell you that it's connected. And then you'll see the display change. All the systems are listed inside the H that we need to be concerned with. The IMU, pressure sensor, which is a barometric pressure sensor, compass, GPS, the ESC, that's the speed controllers for the motors, the real sense, IPS and sonar. We'll see the battery voltage, accelerometers, gyroscope, the orientation. If you move the H, you'll see changes on the orientation for pitch and roll and for yaw. To test the motors, we need to check the box. It says Enable Testing. I have removed the propellers. Says yes. And then we can click on each motor one at a time to test our operation. We have one bad motor. So we're going to change a motor. It looks like the rest of them are okay. You will notice that there will be a different sound on each motor. Each one has its own individual sound. Sometimes they sound bad. Don't worry about that. That's something that does not affect the operation of the motor once the propeller's on it. Also in the GUI is the altitude setting. If you need to change the maximum altitude If you're flying from a valley like I do, and I need to follow the slope uphill, then I need to change the altitude limit. Otherwise, I fly right into the side of the hill. That's where you make the change. There's also GPS information on here. I'm inside the house, so I'm not going to see much in the way of satellites. And whatever satellites I'm seeing are reflected signals. So those signals would be no good for navigation. And the device information shows you the firmware version. It shows you the identification number of this particular Typhoon H. If you have a problem connecting, make sure that under the Edit menu that it's checked for serial port, not for USB. This is an emulated serial connection. The GUI does not always get along well with Windows 10. Sometimes you'll have to close the program out and reopen it. Close the program out and disconnect from the aircraft and then turn it off.